Hello, in this episode we're going to discuss isolation and its impact on your mental health. We're social beings not designed to lead the superficial and isolated life that television and social media typically create, especially left unchecked. What 3 things can you do today or tomorrow that can get you going in the right direction? First, a patient story. I had 2 females come into my office one day, one of them a patient and one a caregiver. The patient had several things wrong with her, and just getting her required medications organized was a task. The live-in caregiver mentioned how she needed to spend a few hours each weekend, and then of course spend time getting her to doctor's appointments and more. They had this arrangement for several years, and you could tell they both were grateful of one another as they each filled a role in one another's life. I got to the examination part of my visit, and for some reason the caregiver mentioned that they were in another doctor's office once, and the doctor said something like, "You all should be glad that you have each other as caregivers and as lovers," assuming they were romantically involved. At that moment in my office, the caregiver felt the need to tell me they were not lovers, as if it mattered to what I was doing. Both of them looked at me as if they were waiting to see how I would respond. I did notice the caregiver had a rainbow pin attached to her hat, though I did not think much of it. I paused for just a moment and said, "But you all are lovers." It was more of a statement than a question. They both looked at me kind of funny, not really sure what to say. I then said, "True love is not a romantic relationship, but I realize society has distorted that view. True love is when one gives to the other without expecting return. It is a symbiotic bond between 2 people. It is you giving of your time so she, the patient, can have all of her meds and get to her doctor's visits. Love is when you give up your own interests, your own time, your own resources, so that others can be healthy and live a successful and fulfilling life. That is real love. Sex does not make you lovers. Giving of yourself to the other makes you lovers." One of the saddest things I remember in my career of medicine was taking care of patients that did not have family or a support system. They were alone. I would go into the hospital room and round on these patients day in and day out, and no one ever came to visit them. They had no one and often did not do as well in their course of care. And there are a lot of people in our communities that have no one. I have had patients throughout my career that have lost their wife or their husband, their mom, their dad, their child. They've lost their significant other, they lost a friend, they lost a pet, and now they're alone and they feel alone. You were not designed to be alone. You were designed as a social being, meant to have contact and relationships with others. It doesn't take scientific research to know that isolation can lead to depression and anxiety. Mental health does not get the attention it needs in our country, and it can be tough to get the care you need once your mental health has declined. And there is a stigma attached to mental health in our society. Did you know that 18 to 19% of U.S. adults aged 18 and older self-report a diagnosis of depression? See the link in my description for the source of data. The counties of the country seeing the highest were in the Appalachian and southern Mississippi Valley, estimated to be between 24 and 32%. That is 1 in 3 or 4 people. I live in the Appalachian region, so this is home for me. 1 out of 3 or 4 of my neighbors. I know this is counterintuitive, but in order to get love, as we have discussed, you've got to give it. In order to break the cycle of loneliness, which can lead to depression, anxiety, and poor mental health, you've got to get out of the surroundings that you're in, the isolation, and you've got to engage with people and give them whatever it is you have to offer, no matter how little you think it may be. Your act of love is a powerful tool in overcoming your lack of love. I know it's easier to sit in your chair and watch YouTube videos all day or read a book or any other activity that you do in isolation. But if you're beginning to experience the early signs of a depressed mood, certainly talk to your healthcare professional. But while you're waiting to do that, do something practical that involves engaging with other people. Number 1, seek help. If you have thoughts of hurting yourself or others, there is help. Dial or text the 988 Lifeline, which provides 24/7 free and confidential support for people in mental health distress. According to their website, they've received over 23 million calls since 2005. The link is in my description as well. Number 2, you are a social being and you need engagement with others. You were not meant to sit at home, watch TV, scan social media, or even read all the time in isolation. Get involved somehow in your local community. Get to know someone, one person in the next 2 weeks. You can do it. Number 3, be honest with yourself. In the moment, what are you feeling? Anxious, depressed, frustrated? Those are real feelings. Don't dismiss them. I have patients tell me all the time that they will just deal with their feelings. Don't underestimate a constant state of depression and its impact to your mental health. Those feelings need to be worked through and addressed, just like high blood pressure. There are medications and other lifestyle changes that can help, but you've got to seek help, either from family, friends, local providers such as your primary care doctor, other civic clubs that offer this kind of help, or in the least, there is the 988 number I mentioned. I'm so glad you chose to watch this video today. I want you to know that there is help and that you're not alone. Life is about the journey, and you will have ups and downs in that journey. Certainly being healthy includes your physical health, but do not overlook the importance of your journey to health regarding your mental state. Like and subscribe in continuing with me on this journey. I'm Dr. Seibert. Meet a friend today and keep the doctor away.